7 p.m., the screens aglow. World of weird news, watch it grow. Del and Wolfman, Mayor 2, got a crazy tale or two. The beautiful Del with a graceful smile, queuing up the clips, going the extra mile. The howling Wolfman with the laugh so deep, secrets of the strange he just can't keep. Honorable Mayor, spectacles askew, scratching his head at the things they view. Saturday night is the place to be with the channel family, wild and free. Funny videos, stories untold, more precious than silver, more precious than gold. Chatting and laughing, joyous sound, best time together all around. From cryptids to conspiracies, they explore it all. No topic too strange to stand up tall. Debates and discussions, a lively exchange, rearranging the ordinary, making it strange. Three friends united, a bond so strong, where every weird moment feels perfectly long. Saturday night, it's the place to be with the channel family, wild and free. Funny videos, stories untold, more precious than silver, more precious than gold. Chatting and laughing, the joyous sound, best time together all around. Through the comments and likes, the community grows, sharing the wonders as everyone knows. A digital campfire, warm and bright, every Saturday a brand new light. Saturday night, it's the place to be with the channel family, wild and free. Funny videos, stories untold, more precious than silver, more precious than gold. Chatting and laughing, a joyous sound, best time together all around. 7 p.m., the screens aglow. World of weird news, watch it grow. Del and Wolfman, Mayor 2, until next Saturday, me and you.
Hello, my weirdos, and welcome to Saturday Night World of Weird News. It is I, the mayor, along with the meat of this potatoes, Del.
Hey,
Hello,
guys.
everybody. Hey, welcome, Vicky. Welcome, Billy. You rock. And Okie. Yeah, Okie's right there. Hey, wow. Wahoo! Not ladylike. Oh, who else we got there? We got a few other people. Oh, Wolfman's here. Ah, here he is. There you are.
Whoopee!
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, I was wondering if you're going to make it.
Yeah, gotta switch my microphone around here.
Ah, all right.
There we
got
go. How's that?
The
That's
sandwich
better.
is back.
All right.
Well,
I'm eating my strawberry ice cream.
you got ice cream?
Strawberry.
Ah,
I have cake.
Oh, nice.
I've got
Cake and ice cream and a midget mayor.
I got a candy bar and I already ate it.
Aww.
Hey, I'll share my M&Ms.
Nope, they're peanut. That'll kill me.
Well, okay. Mounds.
Nope. Hate coconut.
York.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all I got, man.
Ah, damn it. Well, how's everybody doing tonight? We're here. Credence and Mikey are going to be on at 8 o'clock, so we're going to try to get through this and get out of here by 8 so we can make it over to their channel for the After Dark. I paid money for that, so I'm going to be there. This is going to be our last segment on the Jeffrey Dahmer. We're going to be doing the victim's impact and the sentencing. And then we're going to be done with this. It just doesn't seem like it's. What are you doing?
Trying to
Are
clean
you
her,
chewing her ear?
trying to get her ear, but she's not paying attention.
There you go. It's close as I'm gonna get.
Hey, Jules.
It's the other side.
No.
No, the other
Okay.
side.
No, lean
Oh.
lean to your other side there.
There
Yeah,
you go.
Uh,
Sorry.
keeping it weird.
Just like me, I'm just randomly out there.
I am too.
Yep. So we're going to conclude Jeffrey Dahmer tonight, and then next week we're going to start something, probably something that more on the fun side, a little more lighthearted, a little more giggles and
Breaking the
this.
law, breaking the law.
law. Oh God! Somebody-
Hi Wahoo, hi Vicky, hi Billy, hi not ladylike. How you doing? Hi.
I was watching some of our shorts the other day, and the one with the surfer dude. And last night, because of that one, I had to go and watch Pastime at Ridgemont High with Spicoli.
Oh goodness.
Judas Priest.
Tasty Bud.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Brooklyn. Afro Man trial.
That was hilarious.
The Afro Man trial?
Mm-hmm.
I've actually seen none of it. So maybe, who knows? Maybe we should. All right, let's
It's
get
not
started.
super
What?
exciting all the way through. There's highlights that are super exciting.
Well, maybe we'll just.
some of it was boring.
Maybe we'll just do highlights of the Afro Man trial. Oh, there it is. Couldn't find my lighter.
Because the one dude, man, the one was it the prosecutor? Was a dumbass.
Yes.
And his defense guy, fucking spot on, bro.
We're okay. Maybe we'll start on Afro Man next week. All righty. Well, let's get this dark and dank history part going out of here. Yeah, probably in the right buttons. Here we go.
All right. Here, Circuit Court, Branch 33 of Fort Milwaukee County Zone 7. Now the order.
I am going to skip one, maybe two of the victim impact because they were just really drawn out and just worth watching. The final one is the one that's the most impactful, I think.
Silence is commanded, be seated.
We're missing, oh no, okay, we're set. I looked the wrong direction for you. Okay, why don't you call the case so we can make a record of who's here?
Case number F912542, State of Wisconsin versus Jeffrey L. Dahmer.
Appearances for the record, please.
Michael McCann, District Attorney, Milwaukee County, appearing for the state of Wisconsin. With me at council table.
Actually, that's Milwaukee County Corrections colors. It's kind of a reddish orange.
is Assistant District
Hi,
Attorney
Carla.
Carol White and Assistant District Attorney Greg O'Mara. Also at council table is Lieutenant Kenneth
Yeah.
Martyr of the Milwaukee Police.
Hey, you're going to have to tell us what was going on there, Carla, that you got scammed.
Police Department, who has been with us through this hearing. I've also invited City of Milwaukee Police Lieutenant Roosevelt Harrell to join us. He would have been with us throughout at council table had we been contesting the murder counts in terms of the to which the plea was entered.
Okay. Mr. Boyle, appearances for the
Good
defense.
morning, Your Honor. On behalf of defendant Jeffrey Dahmer, who appears in his own person, he appears by his attorneys Gerald P. Boyle, Wendy Petricus, Ellen Ryan, Scott Hansen, and seated at council table is Dr. Kenneth Smale, who has been of great assistance to me, and I wanted him here today.
We're here for sentencing today. Mr. McCann, we talked about hearing from the families of the victims. Do you want to proceed with that first?
Yes, I do. Does the court wish any particular order?
I'll let that be your call.
Mr. Roger Griffin of our victim witness program is with us, and I'm going to ask him to orchestrate that until the families have their appearances.
So first of all, you want to tell us who you are?
Okay, I'm a J.W. Smith, brother of Edward Warren Smith.
Go ahead, sir.
So you can give a copy of this to Judge Green. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, sir, you've handed the bailiff a written statement, and you're going to read from that statement. Is that correct? Go ahead, sir.
Our parents, Walter and Josephine Smith, were two hardworking Americans who raised 13 children. Of the survivors, I've been selected to express a statement of each one's personal pain. Joseph Patrick. Edward is gone, and I find comfort in these words. Whosoever believeth in me shall never die. Michael Fitzgerald. I'm sure Edward was a friend to Jeffrey Dahmer, as he was to us who knew him well. I have these pictures in my mind that are running continuously. How can anyone comprehend or come to accept that never again in this life will Edward be? Ernest Richard. The death of Eddie has shown me the injustices in the world today. John Andrew. Jeffrey Dahmer has erased 1 million future memories for me of my closest brother. Teresa. I need to tell my brother that I love him, and it hurts thinking about what he could have become. Henry Gale. I will never get over the effects that Jeffrey Dahmer has placed in my mind and forever imprinted in my life. May God send Eddie's soul to rest in peace. Carolyn Ann. Jeffrey Dahmer took away my best friend, my better half, my roommate. He took away the laughter. His biggest dream was to be a model, and I hope that one day I can fulfill his dream of being a queen-size model and keep people laughing as much as he did. Robert Esther. I miss you, Edward, and I love you. And maybe now you can finally be at rest. James Willie, myself. Our dad is gone, and now so are you. I never had the chance to say goodbye to either of you. Dad taught us to love and accept each other and expect that, well, excuse me, I lost my place here. Dad taught us to love and accept each person for who they are. You were unique and I loved you. Mia, I wanted to see justice done, and no dollar amount can bring my brother back. If you feel any remorse, let's change the Son of Sam law to Jeffrey Dahmer law. Walter Lewis. It is hard to conceive that a person could take another's life. Ed belonged to someone. How can you fix what is broken, replace what is lost? Maureen. It is easy for me to forgive the sin done to my brother, Ed. But to forget, I cannot. I find each day an inward struggle, but in my faith, I find comfort. Josephine Helen, our mother. This is a terrible tragedy to my family, but I still have 12 children to live for, and in them, hopefully, I will overcome it. Let me tell you briefly about Edward Warren Smith on a more personal level. Ed was raised in a Christian home in Brookfield, where he learned how to be a loving, trusting, respectful human being. Eddie inherited all the blessings that a family structure had to offer. The greatest of these blessings was love. Eddie's style of life and dress was uniquely flamboyant. He was intelligent, witty, compassionate toward the human race. At the time Eddie's life was taken from him, he was searching for his place amongst you and me. Although we have tried, it is impossible to summarize 27 years of this young man's life in 5 minutes. Perhaps it can best be said in St. John chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Edward Warren Smith tried to be Jeffrey Dahmer's friend. As a result, he lost his life. Mr. Dahmer, Eddie's gone now, the victim of your senseless killing. Where do we go from here? We ask ourselves. Why did this happen to a person like Eddie? He gave so much and asked so little. All he wanted was a chance to be himself, a chance to be happy. When all the facts are known, we hope that society will have gained some knowledge that will help prevent a tragedy such as the one Eddie suffered. There was no sacrifice too large or too small for Eddie. He truly loved giving and gave of himself abundantly. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, would you likewise identify yourself for the record?
Good morning. My name is Stanley Miller. I'm the uncle of Ernest Miller. And I've been given this opportunity to come before you on behalf of the Miller family. We want to say that there's no place in a civilized society for anyone who shows no regards for life, especially in the form and manner that Jeffrey Dahmer has shown. We can't afford to have anyone preying nor stalking our people, no matter what our difference may be. How can we as a civilized people accept the responsibility of ever considering putting someone of this nature back into society? Judge Graham, we ask that you see fit to give.
And I just want to stop for a second here. Hey, Carla, don't worry about it. It happens to a lot of people. I've seen it happen to a lot of intelligent people, including my mother-in-law. A scammer who supposedly was from her insurance company got her for $3,000. It happens to a lot of people. Some of these scammers can be extremely persuasive, can really make you think that it's legitimate and everything else.
I watch scammer stuff all the time, and it's crazy. I think these people over there start a job working for these people thinking they're actually doing it right. Now, not all of them, but I think that's what's going on. They're so dumb over there that some of them are like, hey, you're going to be from Microsoft and you need to take a payment, blah, blah, blah. So
Norton,
yeah.
anytime that somebody's asking for a payment and they ask for a gift card, generally Amazon gift card or
Google Play
card from Walmart, something like that, instantly.
Google Play is a big one.
Google Play, that's instantly, that's a scam.
Yeah.
In fact, next week, definitely what we're going to do is we're going to do a thing on scammers.
Yeah, I did a video on that years ago.
Yeah, I started scam baiting over 30 years ago with email, what's called an ASM scam, accidentally sent message. I get them on my phone all the time. People that, in fact, I have some saved on my phone. But next week, that's what we are definitely going to do. We're going to do about scam dating. Figure out how to cancel 5 years. Well, number one, if you paid from your bank, go to your bank immediately. They can help you with that.
Yeah.
Set the money through PayPal. Actually,
it's recommended every now and then, like every year or 2 years, you change your card number.
Yep.
So
I change mine at least once a year.
You go to your bank and tell them I want a totally new card number. If they ask why, just tell them it's compromised. And then they will cancel that card and send you another one. You'll have it in the mail normally about a week. And then it'll be a whole new number. And you'll find out when you start getting emails from this service, that service, and the other service that it wasn't able to take a payment. You'll realize just how much you're paying out.
Yeah. And also you might have a lot of memberships for streaming services or whatever that you don't use and you forget about and you keep paying on those.
Oh gosh, that was me. I was paying $300 some a year for something I wasn't using. So
yeah.
I'd be freaking kidding.
That's one of the reasons why at least once a year I get new cards with new numbers, so that stuff stops, and then I can go back in and do the ones that I absolutely want. No, that will be the last one on here, Mary. Yeah, we're gonna do this. Both Oki and I have Chime, which has been amazing. It has been the best banking system I have ever used. In 60 some years, it's been absolutely the best.
Yeah. I like Chime. And I mean, and I do use Cash App still, but
I mean,
Chime's been
It's got its
the
ups
best.
and downs. My cousin had an issue with Chimes not long ago.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem. If I start seeing anything that looks a little bit funny, I instantly dispute it, and instantly I just push a couple buttons, and they'll send me a brand new card with a brand new number, and I usually have it a couple days later.
Yeah.
They are fantastic for that.
So I have like 5 credit cards and 6 different banks, so I have lots of cards to change.
You got to consolidate.
I thought about that.
All right, back to the video. Yeah, next week, that's what we're going to talk about. There's so many fantastic scam baiters out there besides Scammer Payback. He's one of my favorites.
Pierogi
is phenomenal. He is just fantastic.
I had a deal not long ago text me and was saying that it was from the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. I owed a little bit of money towards tolls, and the amount it told me was like $6.99, and I was like, no, I owe more in tolls than that. Okay, I know I need to pay my tolls, but it was like, if you don't pay within 48 hours, you will be
absolutely done.
It'll be your driver's license will be suspended. Blah da 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 da. So immediately I'm going, okay, I do use the turnpike a lot to go to church and everything. So, maybe. And then I went in and it was like, we need all your banking information, all this. And I was like,
nope.
Before I put this all in, I called the Turnpike Authority and was like, I didn't even tell my name. I didn't want to know the amount that I owe. I was just like, are y'all sending out text messages saying that, you're going to suspend someone's license within 24 hours or 48 hours if they don't pay? And they were like, no, we don't send out text like that. And I was like, awesome, thank you. I marked it as spam.
I tell you, anytime I get somebody that sounds Indian, I don't talk about money.
Nope.
Yeah.
We need for you to give us your contact. No. Nope. Sorry, dude. You're from like India or Bengal or something. No, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. West Coast of Africa.
No, my
India.
name is Chris Smith. I'm from California. No. You're from Bengal or something. Go fuck off.
Yeah.
Romance scammers are generally going to be from Russia or from the Philippines, someplace in Southern Asia. Tech scams, like Norton, Windows, Microsoft, anything like that is generally India, because that's a very tech savvy and country, because there is so much of that offshore stuff that is legitimate. Comcast and everything else uses a lot of phone banks and that are in India. A lot of these scammers, in fact, there'll be one business, and there'll be the legit side of the business, and then to the other side of it is the scammer part of it, and they hide the scammer part with the legitimate part.
Yeah.
Grandparent scam, yeah. Oh, so and so is in jail, and they need this kind of money to get out, or the car broke down. But anytime that any scammer wants you to get a gift card to pay for something, boom, right then and there, hang up, block their number. They will never, there's no business that will ever ask you to pay for something by a gift card. Never. Yeah. And never give out any banking information.
Yeah.
Nope. And if they want you to log into your bank, they changed that, because they will they log into the backside of the website that's on your computer, and they changed the wording. So if you're smart, which most people aren't, and no pun intended, but if you're smart with computers, I should say, if you hit F5, it'll change it right back to the original.
That or they'll have to go into your computer because they got to correct some things. They
black out the screen
instead of refunding you $249, we just refund you $25,000. I'm going to lose my job. We need this money back, and they will actually spoof your bank information to make it look like that amount of money was deposited in there.
Yeah.
All right, back to this.
Jeffrey Dahmer, the maximum sentence. To Jeffrey Dahmer, you have become a hero to a few, but you have become a nightmare to so many more. That's including myself. Before I settle in for the night, I find myself looking in closets, under beds, anywhere that you may be found. Jeffrey Dahmer, due to your actions, this has caused my family a great deal of pain and emotional distress. Jeffrey Dahmer, through your selfish actions, you have caused my family to suffer the loss of society and companionship of Ernest. This was done without any cause or provocation on the part of Ernest, despite the fact that you had the knives, the saws, the bats, the acid, the drills, and possibly a gun. Even while he was in a semi-conscious state of mind, you didn't give him the chance to fight for his life. You took his life like a thief in the night by cutting his throat. Rather than facing him and let him fight for the thing that he felt most dear, you took the coward way out. Did you ever stop to think that this was someone's son? Did you ever stop to think that this is someone's brother, nephew, uncle, cousin, grandson, or just someone's friend that's missing him dearly? Jeffrey Dahmer, just a couple of things about Ernest that you didn't take the time out to find out. First, Ernest was a dancer. This came naturally, and this was his dream, all through his short-lived life. Second, he had a family that loved him. He has a niece now that's 4 months old that he'll never get to hold or play or just watch grow up. He'll have to look from heaven now. I hope that you live a long life so that one day you can appreciate life. On that day, you would know my family's suffering. Furthermore, fortunate for you, Wisconsin doesn't ask you for what you have taken, but then you can only give once. I'm not for the death penalty, but you are a perfect candidate. To Mr. Boyle, first to you, I want to say thank you for not laying any of the blame on the victims. You didn't fail, it's just that God take care of his people. Truth shall always stand. The verdict was appropriate and absolute. Third, you and your staff had a job to do, and you did it well, and we respect that. To Mr. McCann, thank you for fighting the battle that Ernest couldn't fight for himself. As we sat back and fought the battle of faith, you taught us all a lesson on responsibility that we'll never forget. You and your staff has my family's deepest respect. To the Dahmer family, I know that there are some dark days for your family, but the morning will come.
We're here for
so
you.
Look to the hills,
we're all family.
and you will make it through.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Chuck. I'm going to skip over this lady here. She went on forever.
Again, ma'am, would you first identify yourself, please?
My name is Shirley Hughes, and I'm Tony Anthony Hughes' mother.
Again, ma'am, would you first identify yourself?
My name is Dorothy Straughter. I'm Curtis Straughter's mother. I didn't have nothing prepared to say. It's just a few things that I would like to say. You took my 17-year-old son away from me. I'll never get a chance to tell him that I loved him. I didn't have a chance to tell him that I loved him the last time I saw him, which will be a year tomorrow. You took my daughter's only brother away from her. She'll never have a chance to sing and dance with him again. You took my mother's oldest grandchild from her, and for that I can never forgive you. I hope you can deal with what you've done. I'm trying hard to. You almost destroyed me, but I
hope you
refuse to let you
burn in
destroy
hell.
me. I will carry on.
Thank you, ma'am.
That lawyer or whoever was sitting next to him was giving off 80s vibes.
Would you identify yourself first, ma'am?
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. I'm Janie Hagan, the sister of Richard Guerrero. I am here as a spokesperson for my family. The first thing I would like to do is thank Mr. McCann and his staff for doing a fantastic job. It has been a long 4 years of searching and grieving for my family, friends, and others who loved Richard. On March 24th, 1988, Richard disappeared at the age 21. And I also want to state that my family did everything in our power in finding our beloved Richard Guerrero. He was a young man full of life and energy with the ambition to make others happy. As a loving person, he would always take the needs of others before his own. So Jeffrey, when you killed my brother Richard Guerrero, you also killed my father and my mother's youngest future.
Oh, wow, man.
And my 3 brothers' lives, including my life, my husband, and my 3 children, will never forget this tragedy that you inflicted upon us. Therefore, I would like to end my speech by saying in my language that Jeffrey, you are el diablo, el puro diablo que estaba suelto en las calles de nosotros. That means the devil, the pure devil that walked our streets and was loose. So, Your Honor, please, I beg you, don't let this man ever walk our streets or see daylight again. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
This lady. We're gonna grab this guy too. Come on. There we go. Let's go. Oh, what the heck?
Hey, there's a big hump right there.
Yeah, that's the final one. 88, I was 26.
Hello, my name is Marilyn Sears. I'm the mother of Anthony Lee Sears. And I just wanted to know, just why, why would it be my son, I just want to thank you, Michael McCann, for the good job you did. Well, you did a good job too, but I'm glad McCann won it. And I want to thank the jury, and I want to thank you, Judge. And just keep this man off the street, please.
I don't even need a microphone. My name is Rita Isbell.
No, ma'am. You'll address.
My name is Rita Isbell, and I'm the oldest sister of Errol Lindsay. Whatever your name is, Satan. I'm mad. This is how you act when you are out of control. I don't want to ever see my mother have to go through this again. Never, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I hate you, mother. I hate you. This is out of control. Don't Jeffrey, I kill you. God damn it. Look at me, motherfucker. I can kill you.
March and race fast.
I can kill you. You don't have to
Take it easy, Charlie.
No charges were brought against her for her outburst. But man, that kind of summed up the feelings of a lot of people there.
I would have loved to see a back room if they let them both loose.
Oh God, that would have been.
I think they should let all the families. I mean, maybe this is just crazy of me, but I feel like all the families of like when it's someone like Dahmer or people that's like,
John Wayne Gacy.
yeah, and even like those that have, unalived small children or been inappropriate with them, and there's like 1,000% that they done it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm a firm believer. Let them get what they gave.
Yep.
And
like,
then you got on the other side of the coin with Charlie Kirk's wife.
Mm-hmm.
That very first time that she spoke out and forgave the guy.
Well, I think what they need to do is like give the families 24 hours. You have full range of this barn right here, and the cops are going to make sure that nobody, or that he doesn't run off or something like that. At the end of the 24 hours, if they're still alive, then they go spend the rest of their life in prison.
Yep.
If they're not,
no loss.
Then there's a hole out back, or or that person's family can come get them. Like that's, I mean, when you are so evil like that.
Brooklyn says 10 minutes is enough.
Yeah.
Not ladylike. Make sure that you're on all comments instead of top comments, because a lot of times you won't see your own comment if you're on top. That doesn't sound right.
I know. I was like,
I don't see many comments when I'm on top.
Yeah.
I usually can't make any comments. All right, here we go. Jeffrey saying his final words, and then the sentencing.
Oh, he got to say stuff?
Your Honor, it is over now. This has never been a case of trying to get free. I didn't ever want freedom. Frankly, I wanted death for myself. This was a case to tell the world that I did what I did not for reasons of hate. I hated no one. I knew I was sick or evil or both. Now I believe I was sick. The doctors have told me about my sickness, and now I have some peace. I know how much harm I have caused. I tried to do the best I could after the arrest to make amends, but no matter what I did, I could not undo the terrible harm I have caused. My attempt to help identify the remains was the best that I could do, and that was hardly anything. I feel so bad for what I did to those poor families, and I understand their rightful hate. I know I will be in prison for the rest of my life. I know that I will have to turn to God to help me get through each day. I should have stayed with God. I tried and failed and created a holocaust. Thank God there will be no more harm that I can do. I believe that only the Lord Jesus Christ can save me from my sins. I have instructed Mr. Boyle to end this matter. I do not want to contest the civil case. I've told Mr. Boyle to try and finalize them if he can. If there is ever any money, I want it to go to the victims' families. I've talked to Mr. Boyle about other things that might help ease my conscience in some way of coming up with ideas on how to make some amends to these families, and I will work with him on that. I want to return to Ohio and quickly end that matter so that I can put all of this behind me and then come right back here to do my sentence. I decided to go through this trial for a number of reasons. One of the reasons was to let the world know that these were not hate crimes. I wanted the world in Milwaukee, which I deeply hurt, to know the truth of what I did. I didn't want unanswered questions. All the questions have now been answered. I wanted to find out just what it was that caused me to be so bad and evil. But most of all, Mr. Boyle and I decided that maybe there was a way for us to tell the world that if there are people out there.
I want to say one thing. I knew a prison guard that worked at the prison where Jeffrey Dahmer was. And, he sounds remorseful and everything. And that prisoner guard said that every day Jeffrey spoke that how remorseful he was for what he did, and he deserves no pity or anything, and he doesn't want any. I guess from what I heard when they found him, he was still alive, but but like his last words was like, "Finally, this comes to an end. Thank you." Which I think he knew he was doing something wrong, but at the same time, he was also, I feel he was very repentant about what he did.
With these disorders, maybe they can get some help before they end up being hurt or hurting someone. I think the trial did that. I take all the blame for what I did. I hurt many people. The judge in my earlier case tried to help me, and I refused his help, and he got hurt by what I did. I hurt those policemen in the Conorak matter, and I shall ever regret causing them to lose their jobs. And I hope and pray that they can get their jobs back, because I know they did their best, and I just plain fooled them. For that, I am so sorry. I know I hurt my probation officer, who was really trying to help me. I am so sorry for that, and sorry for everyone else that I have hurt. I've hurt my mother and father and stepmother. I love them all so very much. I hope that they will find the same peace I am looking for. Mr. Boyle's associates, Wendy and Ellen, have been wonderful to me, helping me through this worst of all times. I want to publicly thank Mr. Boyle. He didn't need to take this case, but when I asked him to help me find the answers and to help others, if I could, he stayed with me and went way overboard in trying to help me. Mr. Boyle and I agreed that it was never a matter of trying to get off. It was only a matter of which place I would be housed the rest of my life, not for my comfort, but for trying to study me in the hopes of helping me and learning to help others who might have problems. I know I will be in prison. I pledge to talk to doctors who might be able to find some answers. In closing, I just want to say that I hope God has forgiven me. I know society will never be able to forgive me. I know the families of the victims will never be able to forgive me for what I have done. I promise I will pray each day to ask for their forgiveness when the hurt goes away, if ever. I have seen their tears, and if I could give my life right now to bring their loved ones back, I would do it. I am so very sorry. Your Honor, I know that you are about to sentence me. I ask for no consideration. I want you to know that I've been treated perfectly by the deputies who have been in your court and the deputies who work the jail. The deputies have treated me very professionally, and I want everyone to know that. They have not given me special treatment. Here is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of who I am the worst. But for that very reason I was shown mercy, so that in me, the worst of sinners, Christ Jesus might display his unlimited patience as an example for those who would believe in him and receive eternal life. Now to the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only God, be honor and glory forever and ever. I know my time in prison will be terrible, but I deserve whatever I get because of what I have done. Thank you, Your Honor, and I am prepared for your sentence, which I know will be the maximum. I ask for no consideration.
I actually think that was kind of classy on his part. I don't know. Well, classy might not be the right word, but
no, that's a pretty close.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that he at least wasn't, denying it. I mean, because Lainey had said that, at least he wasn't denying it like a lot of the other ones do. And at least he was saying, I done this. I'm at wrong. I feel terrible for the families that I have hurt. I shouldn't have done what I did. And I'm not asking for special treatment or anything like that. I mean, he knew what his sentence could be should be, and he
Was
was
accepting
sorry.
of it.
Yeah.
According to the police and that, when they caught him and everything, he immediately confessed to everything.
Yeah.
He told them where the bodies were buried, literally.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't deny any of it. He didn't try to cover anything up. He said, yes, I did this. I was wrong. You know, this is coming to an end now, and I want to help you in any way that you can. And I don't want to be looked down on because I'm trying to hide anything or claim that I didn't do anything. I did it, and I want to help you, with closure.
It sounded very sincere.
And like I said, a guy I know who was a prison guard there, he said that Jeffrey every day he was very repentant every day of what he did. He had a problem. He could not control it. And something finally came around that took that control away from him, that, this comes to an end now. Now let's start to heal.
Yeah.
Billy asked a good question. The guys who got Jeffrey in prison, did they ever get caught?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And he didn't deny any of it either. He said, yeah, Jeffrey and Jesse Anderson, he said they both needed to die. That's why I killed them. He was already in for a life without parole sentence anyway, so he had nothing to lose.
Yeah, if you're in for that, you might as well get her done.
So and that guy had some mental issues too.
Yeah.
But he, in a strange way, he created even more closure for those families. I'm going to skip that very much stuff.
That's all. Matter, Your Honor. Thank you.
That's not included within that language. I say that because I think I owe it to my profession, having heard all the testimony that I've heard, to set forth on the record what my views are as far as that particular situation is concerned. It never became necessary for me specifically to rule on it. As to the seriousness of the offense, I've listened to the testimony the way everybody else has listened to the testimony, the way our 14 jurors listened to the testimony, and I too have a view of what's going on, or what was going on as far as Mr. Dahmer is concerned. First of all, every witness that examined him told us he was an intelligent man, probably superior intelligence. I agreed that he used that intelligence to manipulate people. I don't think there's any question about it. I believe what we had was a homosexual who could not accept the fact that he was a homosexual.
You're welcome, Carla.
That he from time to time involved himself in homosexual activities, and there was never a problem in a situation that he could walk away from and remain, in effect, anonymous.
Forgot about that.
But once he brought somebody to his home, he could no longer remain anonymous, and therefore he was caught. There's one way to avoid that: destroy the evidence. It's a vicious way to destroy the evidence, but that's my view of what was going on. In terms of what happened to these people, gosh, I was horrified. You know, when we asked the questions in jury selection about, how you react to some of these things, fortunately, nobody gets to ask the judge that question. Nobody gets to ask the judge how you feel about horror movies, because I'll tell you what I do. I turn them off. That's one of the powers that you have when you control the television set. I can go into other things in my background that, well, let's talk about it. There's a time in my life that I made a living in a packing house. And I was a little squeamish in terms of dealing with animals. Gosh knows I got to be squeamish when we talk about doing some of those same things to human beings, real people. I saw Dr. Fosdale on the witness stand. Here's a physician. I don't know if any of you noticed it, but I noticed it, that he got very, very uncomfortable when he was talking about what was done to these human beings. People are looking to me to provide a measure of protection to the community, and I don't think there's only one way that protection can be provided, and that is to see that this defendant never again has the opportunity to walk the streets of our community as a free man. You know, that's part of judicial discretion, I guess, but it really, in this case, doesn't require a whole lot of discretion. I can't imagine anybody else coming up with any other conclusion. And I think that's been acknowledged by both the defense attorney and the defendant himself. As to treatment, the needs of the defendant, that's something in what the court does in sentencing that's not within the discretion of the court, but it is within the discretion of the institution where he will be going. As I listened to the parade of psychiatric and psychological experts, I didn't hear anybody say that he was a totally normal individual. I think the opinion is universal, that he has some significant problems, and if he can benefit, or society can benefit from treatment or study, I think that should happen within the institutional system, and there's no reason why it can't. Mr. Dahmer made reference to religion. Anybody have any idea how many defendants find religion when they come before this court for sentencing?
Most all of them.
Do they sincerely find it? I don't know. How do I determine that? Some of them keep that newfound sense of religion all the way till that door over there. Some keep it a lot longer. You know, that's something between God and Mr. Dahmer. And if indeed he's found religion, I hope that he keeps it, and I hope it helps him for the rest of his life, which is going to be spent in one of our penal institutions. Now, Mr. McCann, is it the first two counts on which there's a habitual, I don't have the complaint in front of me. Is that correct?
It actually attaches to all of them, Your Honor.
All counts, but only the first two.
No, it attaches to all 15. I addressed specifically the first two because that would add 10 years to what would be the minimum parole release.
And on the others, I have the discretion because it's under the new statute. Clearly, he falls within the habitual criminality statute, and the court makes that finding. As to count one, the court will impose a mandatory life sentence plus an additional 10 years on the habitual criminality. Count two, life imprisonment plus 10 years consecutive to count one.
Consecutive, right?
Count three, life imprisonment with the date of parole eligibility, 70 years from the inception of that particular sentence. I don't have all the numbers that I can't work it out, but it'll be 70 years from the beginning of that sentence, which will be consecutive to count 2, count 4, life imprisonment with a parole eligibility to be 70 years from the commencement of that sentence, consecutive. Where am I at on the numbers? Somebody has to.
We're basically like 500 years.
Madam Reporter, what was the last? I should check this off.
Before he would have been eligible for parole, it would have been
Last four was the last one. Okay. Count 5, life imprisonment, parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be.
So basically, he's just talking to talk right now.
Count 6, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 5, count 7, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 6, count 8, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 7, count 9, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 8, count 10, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 9, count 11, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 10, count 12, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 11, count 13, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 12, count 14, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 13, count 15, life imprisonment with parole eligibility to be 70 years after the inception of that sentence to be consecutive to count 14. I believe I have, and I intended to follow the recommendation of the state.
You pretty girl.
I could have said something different, which would have had the same impact. I really see nobody gains anything by just to say more and more years. The important point is that the sentence is structured in such a way that this defendant will never again see freedom. That is owed to this community in order to protect the community, as well as acknowledgement of the seriousness of the offenses. Those are the reasons. The sentence, of course, is to the state prison system. One thing I didn't provide, all of these sentences are consecutive to the time he's presently serving. There are appellate rights. Mr. Boyle, you'll be reviewing with your client his appellate rights.
I'd like to indicate to the court that they will be signed in proper form. The part that will be checked as required is that he is undecided. That's only to preserve the right to move it along the proper way. The final decision will be made within 20 days after we had let some settlement here. I don't anticipate there will be an appeal. I only say that because that's what my client wanted me to say, but I still want deliberation on that decision. And I want to make that a part of the record. Lastly, Your Honor, I am required to ask the court on the record for a 10-minute contact visit with his mother, stepmother, and father, and I would ask if the court would grant that.
Are they present?
They're in some hallway. I didn't know
they're present in the building. Is what you're saying.
I understand they are. I have not seen
Any
them.
objection to that, Mr. Chairman?
I join at the request.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further for the court?
No, please, the court, thank you.
Court's in recess.
Yeah, he told about every victim. He gave complete details about every victim, how each one was killed, what he did with each one. He was completely open and honest about everyone. Before he would be eligible for parole, he would have been in for 999 years.
You would have had to been God's brother to make that happen.
Yeah, Methuselah himself.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to call it quits here so we can get over to Credence Mikey. That's going to be starting any minute now. So we're going to say
clean
bye.
my ice cream bowl.
Yeah, eat your ice cream.
I got to clean the bowl.
I got to clean your bowl. Lick it clean.
Oh, yes.
Next week, we're going to do a thing on scammers. We're going to show several of the different scam baiters like Pierogi and a bunch of others, and talk about the scams out there. Try to do a little education. So
they're great to watch.
Yep. So, any last words from you two?
Y'all have a great evening.
Yep.
Man, a few words. All right, everybody. Remember, we love you, and remember to keep it weird.
Weird.
Whoops, wrong button. Let's try this.
7 p.m. The screens aglow. World of weird news. Watch it grow. Dell and Wolfman, Mayor 2. Until next Saturday, me and you.